Hey guys, and how's it going? Hey, we're going to continue on this 1953 MGTD that a friend of mine and I went up to like the Vermont, Canada border about 6 months ago, and we rescued it out of a barn that it wasn't very well cared for, but at least it wasn't out in the weather. Anyhow, I've got a couple of videos of rescuing it, getting out of there, assessing what we had, brakes, parts, engine, going through it, trying to get it running. And a little bit, I didn't get the film right now, was the starter was hanging up on the end of the last video. It wouldn't engage the flywheel anymore. I ended up pulling that out, oiled it up, put it back in. That's taken care of. But let's continue. Let's try to get it closer to the finish line. Hopefully, maybe able to yard drive the thing or something from that point. And, again, let's go see how far we get. Let's do some wrenching. Well, I think I want to jump on changing the fluids while I got it on the lift. And so that's the drain plug. But before you take the drain plug out of anything, especially when it's old, you want to try to make sure the fill plug comes out of it. That's got like some weird square shaft. I don't know, looks like about 1 inch in diameter. Hopefully we can get a wrench on that. We'll see if that comes out of there. And if it does, we'll take that one out. You're best off knocking some of the crap off of it. Definitely looks like it's been leaking for 30 or 40 years, huh? The front seal here is leaking and it's kind of splashing back. And that's the other stuff. What are we going to find as we start running this thing? There we go. All right. I guessed, what I guess, 13/16? Yeah, yes. I wonder if it has a dipstick. No. Can you feel anything? There's fluid in it. A little on the reddish color. Alright, let's get a drain pan underneath it and let it piss out. The wrench kit for the car is up in the car. And we're on the ground. Let's go see what this gives us. Kind of looks like, the color of it looks like automatic transmission fluid, but it's got the thickness of gear oil. This British thing. We'll let that piss out and we'll fill it up. At least it wasn't empty. Glad to see that. Not seeing any kind of like little metal bits neither. So I have a book that's supposed to tell you everything, and it says use appropriate gear oil. It tells the amount, but it doesn't tell you how much. Definitely could use the change. I don't see any issue. Probably would have been better to drive it a little bit on that, but maybe we'll visit it a second time. I put 80-90 weight in it. The transmission, which actually I think holds less than the rear end, uses supposed to be a GL4. It's like a GL4 and a GL5 with like different ratings, kind of like brake fluid. Brake fluid comes in different ratings, like a 4 and a 5 also. And you're supposed to use a 4 because it's got brass gears in it. I could not find that, but I found a bottle that says works for 4 or 5. Applicable with 4 or 5 for the transmission. Rear end doesn't matter. There's no brass parts, I guess, in the rear. All right, let's go pop the plug on that one and see what we get. And moved up to the trans, and the drain plug is there. Well, where's the fill? Where would you fill it? I don't see anything. On the tail? Yeah, you take the shifter out and pour it in? I don't know. I don't see anything. There's a little bolt there, but I doubt that would be it, right? That guy? Yeah, let me go look at the book and see what it says. I'm betting you got to take the shifter out and pour it in through the top of the shifter. So apparently, up inside the car, there's a dipstick to check the oil level with the transmission, and there's a fill plug right there. I got all carpet in there. Let's go find out. Let's go let it down and see what it looks like. Yeah, let's go see. Oh, that made that little plate right there. Because I never took off the is that loose? Yeah. Nice. I never took off the center carpet. I did the rest of it. You kidding me? Oh, okay. I thought it was just squished carpet. There's 2 holes in there. So one of them's a dipstick. Yeah. So this one's a dipstick, it looks like. I don't know if we have to turn it to get it out or just pull up on it, or... You can get a screwdriver. It's got like a hole in the center of it, so you can get a screwdriver under it and pop it up. Not for nothing though, but isn't that kind of a sucky place to be trying to put gear oil in on top of your carpet? Let's see if this says anything. Yeah, got stuff in it. Let's wait on that. And the reason why I want to wait on it, it's got fluid in it, looks decent, looks like the rear. I want it to spin and kind of churn up any of the, because all the dirt is going to be settled in the transmission. So I kind of wanted to, you know, get floating around in the oil and then drain it. Probably should have did the same with the rear. You should have just checked it and, you know, see if it had fluid in it and did the same. That's all right. I'm going to change them both. I'm just glad that there's something in it. Definitely we can do the motor oil. All right, let's go move on to that. Now we know whether it is at least. Well, the good part, I'm dropping the card now. I was able to get my wrenches. Let's go see what we get out of this. Water pours out. That's pretty dark. I don't know how much it holds. It seems like a lot. Good back you up. I got another pan underneath it. Holy moly. For a little engine, it holds a lot of oil. I gotta switch over. I filled the pan. And now I have a this thing holds about 10 quarts. Jeez. I'm gonna say yes. I filled that white container, which I think is 5 at least. Definitely need to change. Plus we ran this, so like we were just talking about with having it, the dirt suspended in oil because you spun it. We already had the engine running for, you know, probably 20 minutes total or so, 15-20 minutes. All right, well, that finished pissing out. Put that back in. And I don't know what we got for an oil filter. I don't know if it's, I think it's probably like a cartridge. You got to change the center of it out. So I'm thinking that's the oil filter cartridge right there. And we have to change a line behind it. See this line back here? That one. We got a new one for that because the oil was pissing out of it. It's for the oil pressure switch. So let's go see if we can get this cracked loose. I have a pan underneath it. There we go. Let's go over on the bench, pop that out of there. There was 2 different sizes. I ordered 2 of them. Let's see if we got the right one. Yeah, it says the holes between 5 and 5.4 and 6.4 quarts. I took more than that out of it. So I think, did I put oil in it? Maybe I overfilled it a little. Let's go wash that out and see if we have the correct one of these. Yeah, it looks like it. I took a wire wheel to the thing. I had a part number on there, or it's a Napa 1300. And for that oil line, we'll do that while that filter's out of the way. So this is the flex line that was leaking. Kind of like something for under your kitchen sink, huh? Then I grabbed the hard line too because I wasn't sure if that was any good. And that goes up to the dash, to the oil pressure gauge. And I have the dash still pulled away. I don't know what this is. Something I bought. I would say that is a water temperature switch. I don't know. I bought it. It's electrical. It is not for this. Oh, brake light switch. Aha! Yeah, I remember. It's been a little bit. Okay, go get that thrown on. Plenty of room to see. There's nothing. Can't really get on it very good. That's because I got the wrong size wrench. The wrong wrench. And that one doesn't fit neither. Okay, so it's not British. Is it the same as that one? No. That one's a different size too. Hopefully somebody to modify it to some US thread, you know. Let's try 9/16. It might be a winner. How many turning room? It meets a junction, and there's a little oil line, which is this one going up the side right here. I have to take that whole thing out because it's... Get on it. Yeah. I think we're gonna have to loosen this. I don't know if you can see it. You can't see much of anything, can you? There's a banjo bolt going in. Did it without the oil filter. So let's go and get that off. And what we'll do is we'll take that whole copper line with us. I think they got a wire tie. There's a wire tie going to it. Get the banjo bolt out. And then there's another one right at the top of that valve cover. I'll lift your head up in a second. I should have copper bushings on each side of this. Same thing. It's right here. Get that one out. Must be how they get the oil to the rocker arms. Then we'll just lift that whole thing out of there. I have a feeling I'm a little concerned that the threads are not going to be right, because the hose I have has a much smaller fitting than what is on here. I got a piece of mechanics wire tied to that. Let me see if I can cut that off, and we'll try breaking the union on this right now. See if that'll go. What size is that one? We said 9/16, right? Everything's kind of iffy. I'm gonna work on that. Hit it. There you go. Let's go see if that new line fits on there. The bolt head is definitely smaller. Maybe perfectly fine, I don't know. Yep, good. That's correct. It's got a wire tie going through that nut, which is, I'm sure, to keep that nut from backing off. I'm not quite sure what that is. I'll have to put that back on. Let's get this out of here. Okay, now we can change. I wasn't able to get a wrench on that because it was up against the boss on the block down here. Can now. Get some of that crap out of there, huh? I'll rewire tie that. because it's there for a reason. I don't know what. Even purdied it up on a wire wheel. There's brass underneath. I don't think it's supposed to be painted like the car. These always make me nervous. Good, it's not going anymore. That line normally would go down to there. I'm going to inspect that copper line because I knew the battery was on it, so I was concerned it had corrosion. I don't think it was all that expensive. Let me go look. You know, here's the other part too. Like, do you want to not have it fail? You know, you're driving around and all of a sudden the oil's pissing in your face. Maybe I eyeball the other line to it, make sure it's the same thing, and I'm probably going to change it. Yeah, let's try it. Let's grab some vice grips on it. Gotta support that. It's all brass too, you know. I was afraid it was just going to twist that line right off right there, so you're definitely going to have to commit. Yeah. I could unbolt where the vice grips are and unspin it, but just go for it. That goes. Spun free. Didn't trash it after all. Let's go compare that end to the new line. Looks like it. So there's a whole under panel under this dash. I'm looking forward to taking it down if I don't have to. Let's go try. I just ran tie wraps, a tie wrap through each one, and I think if we can get it down, pulled down by the hole, we can wiggle it out. The hole in it's probably about that big in a firewall. I don't know what else it kind of runs by, near, or around. Let's go give it a shot first. Don't tell me you gotta pull. The hole is not big enough for that large nut to fit through. You're kidding me, right? You're like right there. See what I'm looking at? It's all the way there. Except for just not quite big enough for that to fit through. Really? you couldn't have made that hole a 1/16 of an inch bigger when you made it, so you didn't have to run it through the small end of the ferrule. Sometimes in life, you gotta take things into your own hands. You're like right there. Tell me you don't want to play well. Get that with a pick, I think. Winner, winner. Who said you wouldn't make it? A little rubber plug back in there. Like it never happened. Had an O-ring down there for that filter. A pain in the ass to get that dug out and put in. And it's getting the good stuff. Let's throw a battery in it. We'll spin it up because it's got to fill that capacity. You know what? When we let's go crack this oil line and see if we can bleed some of the air out of it too. I'm not sure how much how well the gauge will work if it's all kind of filled up. Plus we'll see if we have oil pressure too, right? All right, I think we're hooked up. I loosened actually this one up so you can kind of maybe see it a little better. And I need to pull a cable on the dash. One of these make it crank. It's in gear. Pushed out some mud too, huh? Let's get it go a little bit more. Push whatever dirt that is out of there. I'll call it a little more. There we go. All right. Hopefully you're able to see out of the way of that strap. That's when you have to. I gotta tie you guys to the car. So let's go crank it down on that. So you could probably look at the dash and see if we get oil pressure. Right? See if the gauge works anyway. Plus, we'll put this on. We'll see if oil pisses out of checking that oil filter real quick. Oil pisses out of the gauge up top too. So we want to eyeball that one. There it goes. See what we get. I would say, what, 38 pounds, something like that? Perfect. I don't see anything dripping on my leg. That's a good sign. Oh, the jokes. Looks okay there. With the rest of it. Pissing out of the oil filter? No, that's good. All right, I'm gonna go top off that oil and we'll get into something else. Well, I figured we could take care of that battery hold down while I was, doing the electrical stuff on there, and I grabbed the old hold down to take a peek at it. And it's pretty gone. It's missing that much of it. And I was cleaning up the little bars that go down, and that one is pretty much down to nothing also. So let's go see. We can probably bend this out of some, some threaded rod. But let's go see if we can find a piece of metal, something like that. Possibly maybe a piece of angle. Let's go shopping. My metal stash pile. I've used angle before too. I just, you drill the hole kind of dead center of it and you run a rod down and let this part hold on to it. That's a little skinny. If we have to, we can. Speak up if you see something. What's that? That is a drawer slide. That's pretty close to the the profile right there. Let's go chop that up. That should work. So it looks like it anchors on this wall and the other one. Let's go take the original. Yeah, so I think if we kind of mirror that, we'll have to make it just a hair longer. We'll make it just a little bit longer. And we'll use that to string across it. And we'll give it like maybe a ½ inch more. Spread it out a little. And we'll put a hole right there. I think at the other end, maybe we'll just open this one up that's already pre-existing. long enough. Good. Let's see what you want to play with next. We have fuel system, and I think we were having problems with spark. Is where we last ended off in the last video, which we had tune-up parts for it. I think the condenser was no good, and those parts did not match up. I got new stuff. Let's go take a peek at that and see if it matches with this stuff. So here's our little stash. We got new plug wires, and then a friend hooked me up with some new old stock wires after the fact. We got carburetor kits, which is essentially a bunch of O-rings. I think we were supposed to put those on when we took the oil line off. I think we were supposed to replace those, but it's not leaking. We'll leave it alone. And then we have, I think this is the old tune-up parts that did not match up. And somewhere here I have got a cap and rotor, which did not match on the first time around. And there's exhaust stuff. That's for the master cylinder. I don't think we need. Okay. I don't want to play this game. No, that's not it. I gotta hunt some more. Oh, you mean those parts that were just sitting on the bench, which were already there? Yeah, those. Yeah, the condenser. I think this is a an updated version with the original plate. We'll pull it out. The condenser is built right onto the plate itself. Let's go see if it works though. Let's go get that snapped out of there. And we'll put an eyeball on it first. That tack cable is coming off the back of the generator. Didn't give you much room. Alright, let's go get rid of that. Because when I last ended up, I tried firing it up and it wouldn't run. The week before we had it. So that pretty much. You see anything I don't? Looks pretty good. The plug wire out of your face. I don't see any reason why not. The two mounting tabs look like they are okay. Alright, let's go get that assembly out of there. We've got to get the little nut off. This is the wire going to the coil. And let's go grab a little something for that. Get out the big guns. I think we're going to have to pull that whole post anyway. Yeah. That's where I drop shit. Had way too much coffee. Okay. Yeah, because I think we have to get that. Almost lost a washer. Will that post go with the plate, or is it mounted to the distributor? We are going to find out. The other part is you want to drop it down in the distributor. So for just such a thing, we have a magnet. Come on. That same tool you use for putting them back in, it's like a clip that holds it. Yeah, the other end has a, yeah, this end holds it. You can lock them. So if you want to reinsert it without trying to drop it. Nope, the screw slot is too small. All right, is that going to come out? I think so. Yeah, man. You check the flyweights down below too. So there's an advance on a distributor as it revs faster. Is that light getting you? Is that kind of a little too much? How's that? So as the distributor revs faster, down here is a set of weights that expand out. Getting a good view of that. But those weights expand out. You can turn them here too. The faster it spins, it takes the rotor and it advances the rotor, so the spark happens a little bit earlier, because sometimes it takes a little bit for combustion to happen. Well, that looks pretty good. I don't see anything stretched out. Springs don't look bad. I'm gonna take an air gun and blow some of that crap out of there. But let's go get our new plate and drop that in and see if that's gonna be a could be viable for us. Yeah, but we got to stack. We still have to stack all the hardware over here that is missing. So we have to swap over. That post setup has to go on there. I'll go do that on the bench and I'll bring you back. All right, swapped everything over and just quickly go over what we got going on here. So the points have to stay isolated and then ground. Ground is this plate anywhere on the car, and of course this plate gets bolted to the distributor. Grounds to that, the distributor is grounded to the body, etc. So this is the ground side of things, and then you have an open and closed signal, but you have to make sure when it's open, nothing is making contact. That's why you see all this material here, this nylon block here, this little isolator pad down below, so that this bolt, none of this stuff can touch this plate, this ground right here, I mean this side of the contacts. So when those points are closed, like they are, you should get a closed signal, but as soon as you open those points, like that, it should go to open, which it is. Let's just make sure that everything is okay. So that's the functioning of them. Open, close, open, close. So we're functioning like we should. All right, I'm gonna put them in there. I gotta look up the point gap. Usually all points are usually between 16 and 20, roughly. And on the cam in the center, I'm gonna put a little bit of grease, because if you don't, that little tab right there will wear off eventually, and as that happens, the point gap closes up, closes, and then finally the car doesn't run anymore. Okay, so here's the dilemma. Look at a point gap, contact breaker gap, first type and second type, and of course 10 to 12 and 14 to 16 on it, and I don't know which one I have. Should we just kind of like set it at 14 and hope for the best? Yeah, it would help if they kind of, I have both, right? I changed 2 types over, so maybe I have both. Yeah, definitely wasn't going to be able to get you in here when I was doing it, but you can see that the cam lobe is lined up right with the end of the points. It's on the high side of it. And I took a feeler gauge, loosened these 2 screws, and you can move this plate back and forth till you get, I set it at 14,000. I was talking about that grease. Also, you don't need much. And we're just going to do a little bit, put a little dot on the back side there. Then as that spins around, the tab on the points will pick it up, and it'll just kind of spread it around the tip of the distributor. All right, I'm gonna go put the wire back on the end of it, put a rotor on it, put a cap on it, all the new stuff that we have, and maybe we'll try cranking her over and see if it fires up. And then I want to try to isolate, was it the electrical having a problem, or was it carb problems, a combination of their both. But let's go get this buttoned up, and then we'll try it and see what we get. I'll show another old school tool. So this is a plug gapper. A lot of times you take, like, you know, feeler gauge, and you're trying to get in there with 22 thou, and it's, you know, sloppy, and you hammer it down trying to bend it back up. This tool, you can select what size you want, and we're at 22. You just first line it up. Yeah, that one's 22. You line it up, and you just squeeze it, and it's got a little anvil on top. And it just sets the point gap right on the money every time. Like these wire sets that you buy that you have to make yourself. So it's got, I guess you got to cut back, I don't know, let's go about that much. And it should reveal the core on the inside. Get out of there. And you're supposed to put this little copper disc over it, like that. And then you got to take the little frayed edges. Yes, that's how it works. I'm not kidding you. And then the little cap goes back over it, and you crank down that into the cap. I'm not kidding, really. That's how it's supposed to be. See? Told you. Well, don't that look pretty? Wish I had a new coil to put on it. It's looking really kind of, even the case is starting to rot out. Guess we're going to go find out. Are we good to... We still have some electrical stuff to go chase as far as, power to the coil and all that. But let's go run a jumper down to it. We'll feed a little bit of fuel in it. I think all that is still kind of set up with the fuel pump and everything. Run some jumpers. We'll see if it fires up. Again, I'm just trying to figure out, were we having an electrical problem last time, or were we having a carb problem? Let's go see. Alright, so we got, this is turned off right now, so there's no power to anything. This jumper wire is going to the fuel pump, and this one's going to be going to the hot side of the distributor, as soon as we figure out which side that is. Which I am going to say is that side. So let's go turn it on and see if the fuel pump kicks in first. That was playing with us last time. Well, there you go. See, that's doing wonders. Let's go try, see if the coil kicks in. And crank it. Let me go spray a little bit of fuel down each throat. Yeah. Let's go throw a little bit of fuel down each throat, spray it, and see if it coughs. And of course, as I walked and got the gas bottle to go fill it up, the fuel pump decided to take off. It just primed itself. But let's go just give her a little shot down each one, just so we know there's a little bit of fuel in the cylinders. And that should be enough for it to cough at least and take off. Let's go see what happens. There you go. I don't know if the carbs are getting anything. Let's go, so it has a separate choke, which is either on or off right now. It was off. Let's go see if it'll go. Good. You might be sucking air, I'm not sure. Let me go try it again. I see some air going up by the fuel pump. Possibly the fuel pump is probably not even doing what we're supposed to. It seems like it wants to work once in a while. So it might be just starving for fuel. But it definitely was our electrical issue last time. Sizzle, sizzle. Chug, chug. Nothing's gonna happen without that. There we go, let it run a little bit. Nothing's pissing out, good sign. I thought we put water in it last time. Check on that. Yeah, good. So nothing's leaking on the coolant system. But we do have to purge that pretty soon because winter's coming. Really antifreeze in it. Nice. Carbs actually sound pretty good, huh? I have a little gauge that you put over it. It shows you how much each one is drawing. Probably should put some fuel in that tank too. It's not getting smoke coming out of the exhaust. It's got an exhaust leak underneath it. Sounds pretty good. Let me go find that gauge. We'll pop it on there. So I shut it off and I refueled the tank and found, this is the gauge I'm looking for. And I haven't read the instruction or anything yet, but my guess is you turn the inside of this in and out to where when you put the face of it against the carburetor, this face, you kind of like seal it off. You see how much vacuum it's drawing, and you want to probably like dial it in so that you're in the middle. And then you can go to the other carb and see, you know, plus or minus where it is. That is my guess. Well, let's go try it, see what happens. Let's go plug everything back in. Here's the gas that's hanging on top of it. See if she starts up. So that was about 70% of the way up. That one's really dragging. Make sure I got a good seal on it. So one of them needs more, one of them needs less. Let's go turn a screw and see what happens. Okay, screwdriver. I'm gonna go turn the other one down. No difference. Let me undo what I did. Got to figure out how to swap them, how to get one to work without the other, and it may be on the bottom adjustment, I'm not sure yet. Okay, what I think I need to do, what the problem is, there's little linkages in the middle. I have to disconnect the linkage, so I'm working with one carburetor at a time. Right now they're both tied together because this linkage is tight. We go loosen that up and we'll try getting a little better. Plus the idle's getting too high. Yeah, because right now all the throttles are tied together, so you move one screw, you move in the other one. You're not, you know, working them individually. You could probably just loosen pretty much any of them, as long as you get one coupler to slide, right? Right tool for the right job. Does that do it? Yeah, so they're working independent of each other. I don't know if this is gonna have, I just want to make sure it's got spring pressure. We're turning it. That one's a little lug. That one's a little lethargic. Let's go try working with that though, and see if we can kind of dial on both ends, then we can tighten the linkage up. Idle still seems a little high. Let's try, I don't know what RPM is supposed to idle at. Let's try working both of them down. Close. Shut it off. There you go. And we'll lock that linkage together. We'll try revving it. What was it, this one? Alright. Clear up. So we're probably way off on the air fuel mix. I think what I gotta do my homework on it, but as far as I understand, you're supposed to be able to rev it and you're supposed to watch how they pull. But we're not even getting to that. And like that did it. It's still pulling even. Let's play with the air fuel mixes. Like I said, I had the O-ring kits for it. That one looks like it's much further down than that one. Stay running. Let me see if we can go get a little wrench to go fit on those. Let's go kill power. That's what I'm doing, to kill power for now. But before we get into too much addition with the carbs, let's go finish up our electrical system. And mark top dead center. And this is the nipple that it has to line up with. There. Get rid of that one. And at an idle, those two should line up, which is just right at top dead center is where the setting is. See how close we are. Let's go fire it back up, hopefully. Have to give it some throttle. See what it does. See if the gun even works too. Yeah, we are off. I don't know if the camera's going to pick that up. We are off quite a bit, about 10 degrees. Let me loosen up that distributor. We can bump it a little bit, get that mark over to the top, because the timing stop is going to cause it to pop too. So it's loose. Don't need that. I don't know which way is the right way. whatever way I went the wrong way. There we go. Problem is though, as it revs up, the mechanical advance that was in that distributor starts to open up. So let's try turning the idle back down again. Sounds better, huh? So give it a rev, see if it pops back. Get a falter on us. A little bit. Alright, so I'm going to work the vacuum gauge. I'm going to try bringing those RPMs down a little. Let's go look at the dash. See what we got going on. See if the tach's working and all that kind of stuff. Alright, we're in. Oil pressure's at 42, something like that. Looks good. Don't know if that charging system's working. Again, the key's not even on. Where is the key? I don't know. That's headlights probably, right? Yeah, the draw. We're at 1150 RPM. Let me go look it up, see what it's supposed to be, and I'll dial it down to get that right there. And again, I still haven't screwed that air fuel mix. Temp, if that's working correctly, she's a little on the hot side. What goes up to here, right? So what is that, like 85 Celsius, I would think, right? We'll keep an eye on that, make sure we're not overheating. So I got it so the idle's down, it's around 800. I'm not quite sure if that's right or not, but anyway, it's around 800. You can hear it still needs to be kind of, you know, tweak the two of them, but it's definitely filling up the exhaust in the shop. I got the fan going in the background, sucking it out, but I think I'm gonna go let it down, get all the crap out of the way of it. It should be good enough to putt, get rid of crusty out of it, and we'll spin it around. We'll have the ass end facing out the door instead of into the center of the building, and then we kind of screw with it a little bit healthier. So this will be actually the first time it's moving under its own power in 46 years. We haven't done it yet. Let's go see. I don't know about you, but how about we take her in the sandpit, take her for a little bit of ride. Brakes kind of suck, emergency brake works fine. I still have that brake switch to put in and re-bleed the brakes. We get all the junk off the car and we'll kind of put it around a little bit, maybe get it into first and second gear. I don't know if we're charging or not neither. I'm not sure what lights mean what, and the amp gauge is at 0. My guess is probably not. All right, we get rid of the trash, put a tie wrap around the gas. Clutch is a little chattery. Gotta get the rust off of it. It's gonna be bumpy in here.
take her down the side road. Let's go for a little side road ride. Go for third gear. Speedometer doesn't seem like it's working. Pump the brakes. They kind of work. Temp's staying pretty good, staying like at 85 Celsius. I don't know what that is. What's that in American? I'd say it's a very successful first putt of it. Everything, you know, speedometer's not working. I don't think the charging system is. Again, we definitely some stuff to iron out. We still have to deal with those carbs, changing the O-rings in them and getting them tuned in. That'll take care of that. A little hunting of the idle. Exhaust system has a couple of leaks in it. Definitely got to detail it out yet. Still more to do, but I'm glad everything else seems to be okay. Transmission, I went through all 4 gears. Nothing making any kind of funky noises. Again, I only got up to about 30, but it's already, I got plates and everything for it. So that part's all ready to go. But we're getting there. Not bad for, again, 46 years. Left in a barn in Vermont for that long. New tires are on it. I don't know if I even showed any of that. Put radial large white walls on it. Had the top tucked down underneath. Yeah, we can see the headlights on what we're discharging. Our temp is holding, I'm not sure what temp it really should be. It seems okay. Oil pressure seems like it's okay. It's holding at like, I don't know, 35. Idling at, I don't know, around 1,000. Again, that'll get dialed in better. I was gonna try to change the steering wheel. It wouldn't come off. Dash is kind of not bolted. Yeah, there's a whole bunch of stuff we still need to go through, but you know, for its first assessment, it actually looks pretty good. doing nice. Gas tank, we got to gas. That's got to get all, you know, douched out and everything. That's really a mess inside there. So I have a feeling, guys, that's going to be on another video. But for this one, I think we're going to call her. I'm happy so far. And I hope we can continue to carry the torch where I feel safe enough to actually take it down the road and away from the shop for a good distance without having to worry about coming back with the trailer and getting it. But cool, something different for me. I'm not used to working on these style of cars, and that's definitely what keeps it interesting as we go along. All right, guys, with that, I'm mumbling. I'll see you soon. I can put the hood and everything on it. Yeah, give her a good detail, hubcaps. All right, I'm out. See ya.